Trae Young will obviously certainly be there. But I do want to talk about this game. So if you're living in Atlanta, Atlanta's kind of been cast as this center of COVID, fair or not. I guess Florida would be the, COVID mainstay land down there. But, Atlanta's open, clubs, bars, all that stuff, strip clubs. Like there's just a lot of places where the COVID could fester down there. And fair or not, the NBA has been wildly criticized for having an all-star game there. And their take on it is that you can go in one night, go out like it's a road game, like the Celtics are down in Atlanta and about to play a game, and head out the next night. And that's how the All-Star game is going to be set up. All the events are in one night. They'll probably be the same protocols that you can't leave your room. Everybody's stuck in their hotel, and then it's just out of there the next day. They'll probably have a hard time on when all the teams need to be out there. So this could go perfectly fine. The money was certainly needed by the league there, but I do side with people who say these are the most important players in the NBA. And if anything goes wrong here and there's any spread whatsoever, if someone comes in with an inconclusive test or a test that isn't caught, and this is spread among the players on the court there, I mean, we're talking about a disaster that could feasibly threaten the season here, worst case scenario. Now, I think it could end up being fine with what they have in place here, but I mean, what's the feeling around Atlanta? I mean, you live there. What's the level of threat that you think this is going to present to the league? And, how is it just being in a city like that where everything's open amid the COVID pandemic here?
Yeah, I mean, the problem is for Atlanta residents like myself is that when you have a massive event like the All-Star game, granted it's much smaller this year. Like you said, the guys are coming in the day before and leaving the either right after the game or the next morning. So that part is fine because like usually for All-Star week there's a lot of parties and stuff. But that's the problem is that when you're living in Atlanta where there's many entertainment options, I'm sure there are going to be other all-star events going on, whether it's sanctioned or not by the NBA. I know Adam Silver was talking about how there's going to be no NBA sanctioned events going on in Atlanta, but I mean, like, come on, like let's be real here. They're going to be events like you see it right here that you're showing on the screen. I mean, like, so it doesn't make any sense to me that, Silver is talking about there will be no events and whatnot. They're going to be events. It's Atlanta. The clubs are going to be popping on Friday and Saturday nights. The bars are going to be crowded, and it's kind of ridiculous in a way because going into the season they were talking about how that safety was going to be important, and yet you have players from all different teams interacting with each other. And like you said, the possibility of there being a positive test or an inconclusive test or whatever it might be could jeopardize the season or at least pause it for a few weeks. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But at the end of the day, it's all about money, and money is always going to win.
Yeah, I saw these posters for these events and just went, uh-oh, here we go.
It's
we're
ridiculous.
just we're asking for one player to end up at one of these events, just step out of line there, and like we're just looking at a disaster. Not only for this event in particular, but for the weeks to come out of that All-Star break. We just had the Spurs and Hornets get shut down again after the league had reached zero. So now the NBA numbers are ticking up just a little bit again, and could you have them tick up more into the second half? My biggest thing was the league doesn't seem to know right now how it's going to make up these games that have been missed already. I think there's upwards of 30 games that have been postponed. And the All-Star break would seemingly be a time where some of those could be made up, or you're going to look at the second half schedule being even more packed or stretched out if the Olympics get cut off or whatever, which seems like a possibility at this point. The season could be extended. But overall, it just doesn't seem like the All-Star game is going to help that goal in any way. So you're going to have an All-Star game and then possibly be just getting rid of some games and going by win percentage and giving up on those as money. Like this, it's creating a different problem where there doesn't need to be one to me. And I'll say this, like I'm up on music. I'm 23, but it troubles me that I don't know who Pooh Sheisty is.
I haven't heard. Pooh Sheisty. I know who Lil Durk is, but I do not
Yep.
know who Sheisty is.
I don't like being 23 and not knowing who. Apparently, I mean, he's above Lil Durk here on the poster, so I should probably know who he is too if I know who Lil Durk is. But I can't say I do. So yeah, there's our all-star.